It's a lot of things to take into account when you talk about being viewed as a top 5 quarterback. It's not a laundry list. This is a list that, it has to be taken very seriously.
So just did week 14 and we're coming back to reverse and do week 13. So here's my top 5 quarterbacks of week 13. Let's start off with the honorable mentions. I got Dak Prescott, Jared Goff, Geno Smith, and Matthew Stafford as honorable mentions for week 13. All had really, really great days, but they didn't crack my top 5 this week. So let's see who cracks my top 5 this week for week 13. So coming in at number 5, I've got number 5, Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence had a 125.4 QBR. He went 22 of 29 for 258 yards and 3 total touchdowns. Trevor Lawrence runs the show in Jacksonville, and he's playing some great football right now. And the injury is just very, very unfortunate. Now, obviously, I'm doing this after week 14. So Trevor Lawrence obviously bounced back from the injury and still had a decent game, although he threw the 3 interceptions. But we're not talking about week 14. We're talking about week 13. So Trevor Lawrence did very, very well, and he continues to run this offense. And when Trevor Lawrence goes, this offense and this Jags team goes. So Trevor Lawrence coming in at number 5 on my list for week 13. Coming in at number 4 on my list, number 4, Tua Tagovailoa. Tua had a 141.0 QBR, 18 to 24 for 280 yards and 2 touchdowns. Tua took shots and threw the ball all over the Commanders' defense, and he looked poised and in control of this high-flying offense all day, despite not really having to throw the ball more than 30 times like he usually does. So, hey, you've got Tyreek Hill. You've got this offense that's high-flying right now. You've got to be the gunslinger that continues to run the show, and he's doing that and did that very, very well in week 13. So he comes in at number 4 on my list there. Coming in at number 3 on my list, Jordan Love. Jordan had a 118.6 QBR. He went 25 of 36 for 267 yards and 3 touchdowns. This is now 4 solid performances in 5 weeks for Love. He's learning to take calculated shots and be aggressive, all while taking what the defense gives him, and that you got to have it. And so this is what the Packers hoped Love would be, and he has to continue to build off of that. The biggest thing was we knew he was going to be aggressive, but he has to be able to learn how to take calculated shots, and he learned, or at least showed that he's learning how to do that. And so he's putting together some really good football these last couple of weeks. And I think he's back in the race of definitely being a guy that the Packers can say is our franchise quarterback like they were hoping he would be. So now let's go on to my number 2 quarterback for week 13. At number 2, Brock Purdy. Brock had a 148.8 QBR, 19 to 27 for 314 yards, 4 touchdowns. Brock is the ultimate game manager. He makes the right reads, accurate throws, and he distributes the ball like the elite point guards like Chris Paul, just diamond the ball all over the field and allowing these amazing 49er playmakers to go make plays. You still have to be the gunslinger that lets it go and gets it to those guys. And again, that's hard to do, or it's easier said than done. So Brock is doing that very, very well, and he's definitely putting himself in the MVP race for sure. But coming in at number 1, my number 1 quarterback performance of week 13 is Jake Browning. Jake Browning had a 115.5 QBR, 32 of 37 for 354 yards and 2 total touchdowns. Jake Browning and Zach Taylor got comfortable with each other early in the game, and he used his mind to manipulate defenses and check into good, smart plays based on what the defense was giving him. Yeah, it didn't look special where he was just kind of nickeling and diming down the field, but he had to make those checks based on what the defensive coverages were allowing him to, and he became the 10th, only the 10th player in the Super Bowl era. He became only the 10th player in the Super Bowl era to have 350-plus passing yards in a game, where his completion percentage was 85% or higher. So that's an elite performance. I'm not going to say that Jake Browning is the second coming of Tom Brady, like some people have said, comparing Joe Burrow to Drew Bledsoe and Jake Browning is Tom Brady. I'm not there to say that, but Jake Browning definitely came out swinging, got comfortable, and is really creating a nice little story here for Cincinnati to continue to maybe bounce back again after the second injury to Joe Burrow. So Jake Browning, my number one quarterback of week 13. Let me know what you think about this list. Obviously, it's a week late, so you can grill me in the comments for that one. But no, let me know who I left out this list, and definitely comment, or we can go debate it. So, but anyway, that's my week 13 list and week 14 all at the same time.